The locks have been changed, my sister said, arms crossed on my front porch. Mom's inside. She doesn't want to see you right now. I stared at the door. My door. The deed in my bag suddenly felt very, very heavy. My name is Rachel, and I'm 37 years old. I work as a regional compliance officer for a mid-sized insurance firm. Boring, I know, but it pays well and keeps me sharp. My days are filled with spreadsheets, policy reviews, and conference calls that could have been emails. I'm reliable. Invisible. Maybe. But reliable. In my family, I've always been the fixer. The one who shows up when someone needs help moving, co-signing a loan, covering an emergency vet bill. I'm not the loud one, or the pretty one, or the one with the exciting life. That's my sister, Jen. She's a yoga instructor, with perfect skin, and a laugh that fills rooms. Mo adored is her. I used to think that if I just kept showing up, kept being useful, they'd eventually see me. Really see me. Not just as the dependable backup plan, but as someone who mattered. I wasn't rich or glamorous. I didn't post inspirational quotes or host lavish dinner parties, but I had something they didn't expect. Discipline, patience, and a legal mind that never forgot a single detail. Most nights, I'd come home to my quiet apartment, make tea, and wonder what it would feel like to be someone's first choice instead of their safety net. I told myself it didn't matter, that I was fine, but I wasn't fine. And when the people you love start treating you like you're disposable, something inside you either breaks or sharpens. If you've ever felt like the backup plan in your own family, like the one everyone calls when they need something, but forgets when it's time to celebrate, well, this story is for you. You're not invisible. You matter. Hit that subscribe button if you've ever been the quiet one holding everything together, and click hype if you know what it's like to be underestimated. Now, let me tell you how it all fell apart. It started with Mom's 65th birthday dinner. Jen insisted on hosting it at this trendy farm-to-table place downtown. Exposed brick, Edison bulbs, waiters in suspenders. I offered to help plan, but Jen waved me off. I've got it covered, Rach. Just show up and relax for once. I should have known better. When I arrived, the table was already full. Mom sat at the head, glowing in a silk blouse I'd never seen before. Jen was beside her, laughing with our cousin Claire. My brother Tom and his wife were there, along with a few of Mom's friends from her book club. There was no seat saved for me. Oh, Rachel! Jen's voice was bright, but her eyes barely met mine. We didn't think you'd make it. You're always so busy with work. I stood there, purse strap digging into my shoulder, scanning the table. Someone's coat was draped over the only empty chair. I told you I was coming, I said quietly. Did you? Jen tilted her head, mock confused. I don't remember that. Tom snorted into his drink. Claire looked uncomfortable, but said nothing. Mom glanced up, smiled vaguely, and turned back to her conversation. A waiter appeared with a folding chair. He set it at the far end of the table, near the restroom hallway, where the noise from the kitchen was loudest. I sat down. My hands were shaking. Jen raised her glass. To Mom, the strongest woman I know. Everyone cheered. I lifted my water glass. No one looked my way. The scent of rosemary and butter filled the air, but all I could taste was the bitterness rising in my throat. Halfway through dinner, Jen stood up, tapping her fork against her glass. I have an announcement. The table quieted. She looked radiant, practically glowing. So, as you all know, Mom's lease is up next month. And Tom and I have been talking. She glanced at our brother, who nodded smugly. We think it's time. Mom moved in with family. Real family support. My stomach dropped. She's going to move into the house. Jen continued. You know, the family house. The one Dad left. It's been sitting there long enough. We're gonna fix it up and make it beautiful again. A real home for her. Everyone clapped. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Happy ones. I sat frozen. The house. My house. The one Dad left to me in his will. The one I'd been paying property taxes on For 3 years. The one I'd kept quiet about because I didn't want to make waves, didn't want to seem greedy or selfish. Wait, I said, my voice barely cutting through the noise. Jen, that house is… Oh, don't worry, Rachel. Jen's smile was dazzling. We're not asking you to do anything. You're always so busy. We'll handle everything. But it's… Rachel. Mom's voice was gentle, but firm. Let your sister do something nice for me. You don't have to be involved in everything. The table went silent. Tom smirked. Claire looked at her plate. One of Mom's friends whispered something to the woman beside her. Heat flooded my face. My throat closed. I just think… Rachel, please. Jen's tone shifted, sweet but edged. This isn't about you. Laughter rippled around the table. Not cruel laughter. Worse. The kind that says, she's always like this. I picked up my water. My hand trembled. So hard. The ice clinked. No one noticed. The waiter brought out Mom's cake. Everyone sang. I mouthed the words. And I smiled. Because that's what I always did. After dinner, I walked Mom to Jen's car. The night air was cool, but I felt numb. You okay, honey? Mom asked, adjusting her scarf. I nodded. Yeah, I'm fine. She patted my arm. You know your sister. She just gets excited. She means well. I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask why she never defended me. Why it was always, Jen means well, and never, Rachel deserves better. But I didn't. I know. I said. Jen appeared. He's jingling. Thanks for coming, Rach. I know these things aren't really your scene. She kissed my cheek. It felt like a brand. I drove home in silence. My hands gripped the steering wheel. So tight. My knuckles ached. When I got to my apartment, I sat in the dark for a long time. I pulled out my phone and opened the family group chat. Jen had already posted photos. Best night ever. So grateful for this family. 43 likes. Heart emojis from Mom. A love you sis from Tom. I scrolled up. Weeks of messages. Plans I wasn't included in. Inside jokes I didn't understand. A whole world I wasn't part of. I opened my filing cabinet and pulled out a folder. Inside was the deed to the house. Clear as day. Rachel Ann Porter. Sole owner. I'd never told them. I thought it didn't matter. I thought they loved me anyway. I stared at that piece of paper for a long time. And then, for the first time in years, I didn't cry. I smiled. Because I finally understood something. They didn't see me as weak. They saw me as nothing. And that was a mistake. Over the next 2 weeks, the group chat exploded with activity. Jen posted paint swatches. What do you think, Mom? Sage green or navy for the living room? Mom responded with emojis. Tom chimed in with contractor recommendations. I wasn't asked. Not once. I typed a message 3 times and deleted it 3 times. Hey, just a reminder. I actually own that house. But I didn't send it. Instead, I watched. I screenshotted everything. I saved every message. On a Thursday afternoon, Jen posted a photo of herself standing in front of the house, arms wide, grinning. The caption read, "Can't wait to make this home beautiful again. Family first." 62 likes. I stared at the photo. The porch I'd had repaired last summer. The roof I'd replaced 2 years ago. The property taxes I'd paid every single quarter without asking anyone for a Jimmy. That night, I got a text from Claire. Hey, you doing okay? That dinner was weird. I almost responded. Almost let someone in. But then I saw she'd liked Jen's post. All of them. I'm fine. I typed back. Thanks for checking in. She sent a heart emoji. I didn't respond. The next morning, I called my lawyer. I need you to look into something for me, I said calmly. She listened. She asked questions. She didn't sound surprised. Rachel, she said gently, you know you're within your rights here, don't you? I did. I just needed someone else to say it. I'll send over the paperwork, she said. Let me know when you're ready. I hung up. I wasn't angry yet. I was something much more dangerous. I was clear. The following Sunday, there was a family brunch. Jen's idea? Of course. She wanted to finalize the house plans with everyone. I showed up, smiled, brought bagels. Oh, Rachel. Mom seemed genuinely surprised. I didn't think you'd have time. I made time, I said evenly. We sat in Jen's pristine dining room, everything white and airy and perfect. Tom pulled out a binder. Actual tabs. Color-coded. So, we've got the contractor lined up, he said. Should start demo next week. New floors. Updated kitchen. The works. This is going to be so beautiful, Jen gushed. Mom, you're going to love it. Mom beamed. I sipped my coffee. Rachel. Tom glanced at me. You're being awfully quiet. Not gonna lecture us about permits or something? Everyone laughed. I smiled. Nope. Just listening. Jen leaned forward, elbows on the table. Honestly, Rach, I'm kind of surprised you're here. I figured you'd be like, you weird about this. Weird, how? I asked. She waved a hand. I don't know. Controlling. You always have opinions. About everything. Tom snorted. Remember when she made us redo the seating chart at your wedding 3 times? Oh my God, yes. Jen rolled her eyes. Rachel, here you have to let people just live. Mom chuckled softly. She does like things a certain way. They all looked at me, waiting for me to laugh along, to shrink, to agree. I set my coffee down. You're right, I said. I do. Yen blinked. See? There you go. I smiled wider. Inside, I was taking notes. Every word, every laugh, every dismissive glance. I was building a case. And when I was ready, I'd present it, not in anger, in paperwork. A week later, Jen called me. Hey, Rach. Quick favor. I leaned back in my office chair. What's up? So the contractor needs a deposit. Like 5 grand. Can you Venmo me? I'll pay you back. After Mom's social security comes through. I paused. Why do you need ME to cover it? Because Tom's tied up in his investment thing, and I just paid for Mom's dental work. Come on, Rash. It's for MOM. There it was. The magic word. I could hear her breathing. Impatient. Expectant. Yen, I said slowly. Have you actually checked the deed on that house? Silence. What do you mean? She asked. I mean, do you know who owns it? Her laugh was nervous. Dad left it to the family. We all know that. Did he? Rachel. Her tone shifted. Sharp now. What are you doing? I'm asking a question. You're being difficult. This is exactly what Tom said you'd do. What did Tom say? That you'd make this about you. That you'd try to control everything like you always do. I felt the heat rise in my chest. But I kept my voice calm. I'm not trying to control anything, Jen. I'm just saying, maybe you should look at the paperwork before you start renovating. Oh my God. She was angry now. You're jealous. That's what this is. You can't stand that Mom wants to live with ME and not you. That's not. You know what? Forget it. I'll figure it out myself, like I always do. She hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone. And then, I forwarded the deed to my lawyer. Go ahead, I wrote. Send the cease and desist. She replied within an hour. So? They'll have it by tomorrow morning. I closed my laptop. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel sad. I felt something I hadn't felt in years. I felt powerful. What they didn't know was that I'd been preparing for this moment longer than I realized. Not consciously. Not at first. But every time I'd been overlooked, every time I'd swallowed my hurt and stayed silent, I'd also been watching, learning, paying attention to how they operated, what they valued, what they feared. They assumed I was weak because I didn't fight back. They assumed I was passive because I didn't make scenes. But silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's strategy. I'd kept meticulous records. Every expense I'd covered. Every tax payment. Every repair on that house. I had receipts, emails, bank statements, going back 3 years. I knew the law. I worked in compliance. Fine print was my love language. And I had something else they didn't expect. Ownership. Not just of the house, of myself. For years, I'd bent and stretched and tried to fit into the shape they wanted. The helpful one, the quiet one, the one who never made a fuss. But I'd also been building a foundation they couldn't see, a savings account they didn't know about, a lawyer who respected me, a spine that had been slowly turning to steel. They thought I needed them. They thought I'd crumble without their approval. But I'd already survived the worst thing they could do to me. I'd survived being invisible. And once you've survived that, once you've learned, you don't actually need anyone's permission to matter. You become something they can't manipulate. You become free. I didn't want revenge. I wanted clarity. I wanted them to see, just once, what it felt like to be erased, to be told you don't matter, to be locked out of something that was always yours. And when that cease and desist letter landed in Jen's mailbox, when her contractor called her confused, when Tom's binder became useless, they'd finally understand. I wasn't the backup plan. I was the deed holder. Her name was Monica, and she'd been my lawyer for 2 years. I met her at a networking event I didn't want to attend. We bonded over bad wine and worse, small talk. She handed me her card. If you ever need someone who fights clean but doesn't play nice, call me. I kept that card. When I called her about the house, she didn't ask if I was sure. She didn't tell me to think about family. She asked one question. Do you want them to stop? Or do you want them to understand? I thought about that. Both. I said. She smiled. I could hear it through the phone. Good. Then let's be smart about this. We met at her office. She pulled up the deed, the tax records, the will. Rachel, this is ironclad. Your father left the house solely to you. Your siblings have zero legal claim. If they proceed with renovations, they're trespassing. If they move your mother in, she's technically your tenant. I felt the weight of it. The power. The responsibility. They'll hate me. I said quietly. Monica leaned back. Maybe, but they already don't respect you. What's worse? Being hated and free, or being tolerated and used? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. She slid the papers across the desk. Let's send the letter, she said. And let's make it clear. I signed. And for the first time in months, I slept through the night. 3 days later, Monica called. They got the letter. My heart hammered. And? Your sister called my office. Twice. She's upset. What did she say? That you're being vindictive. That this is a family matter, and I should stay out of it. That you're going to regret this. I closed my eyes. What did you say? I told her that the law doesn't care about feelings, and that if she proceeds, you'll file for damages. Silence. Rachel, Monica said gently, you still have a choice here. We can walk this back. Send es softa leda. Offer mediation. I thought about the birthday dinner, the group chat, the bagel brunch, the years of being forgotten. No, I said. We're done being soft. Monica paused. Then, good. Because I already drafted the follow-up. I almost laughed. There's one more thing, she said. If they've already started work on the house, we can file an injunction. Stop everything. But it'll escalate. They'll know you mean business. Do it. You sure? I looked out my office window. The sky was clear. The world looked sharper than it had in years. I'm sure. She hung up. That night, Jen texted me. We need to talk. No. I stared at the message. I didn't respond. Not yet. Let them wait. Let them wonder. Let them feel, just once, what it's like to be ignored. Jen demanded a family meeting. At Mom's apartment. Neutral ground, she said. I agreed. When I arrived, they were already there. Yin, Tom, Mom, all sitting in the living room, like a tribunal. Tom's jaw was tight. Jen's eyes were red. Mom looked confused and sad. I sat in the armchair, across from them. I set my purse down slowly, crossed my legs. Rachel. Jen's voice shook. What the hell is this? She held up the cease and desist letter. I glanced at it. It's a legal notice. It's insane. Tom snapped. You're actually going to sue your own family? I'm not suing anyone. I'm protecting my property. Your property? Jen's laugh was bitter. Dad left that house? To all of us. I pulled a folder from my bag, laid it on the coffee table. Read it, I said. Jen grabbed it. Her eyes scanned the deed. Her face went pale. This can't be right. Mom leaned over. What is it? It's the deed, I said calmly. In my name. Sole ownership. Signed by Dad. 6 months before he died. Tom snatched it. This is a mistake. It's notarized, I said, and filed with the county. I've been paying property taxes on it for 3 years. You want to see the receipts? Silence. Jen's hands were shaking. Why didn't you tell us? I met her eyes. Why didn't you ask? Mom's voice was small. Rachel, why are you doing this? I turned to her, and for the first time, I didn't soften. Because you locked me out, I said. And you forgot? Whose name was on the deed? The room went still. Jen stood up, pacing. This is ridiculous. You're being petty. Petty? I stayed seated. Calm. I paid for the roof, the porch, the foundation repair. I've kept that house standing while you all pretended it didn't exist. And the second you decided you wanted it, you didn't even think to ask me. Because we didn't think you'd care. Jen shouted. Exactly. My voice was quiet. Sharp. You didn't think I'd care. Because I never matter. Not at birthdays. Not at brunches. Not in the group chat. I'm just the backup. The ATM. The one you call when you need something. Tom scoffed. Oh, here we go. The victim routine. I looked at him. Do you even know when my birthday is? He blinked. It was last month. I said, no one called. No one texted. But when Jen needed $5,000, fuera contractor. My phone rang in under an hour. Mom's face crumpled. Rachel, you didn't mean to forget me? You didn't mean to exclude me? You didn't mean to laugh at me? In front of your friends? I stood now. My hands steady. You did all of that. On purpose. And you never thought there'd be consequences. Jen's voice broke. So what? You're kicking Mom out? Making her homeless? I never said that. I picked up my purse. I said you can't renovate my house without my permission. I said you can't move in without a lease. I said you can't erase me. This is about control. Tom spat. No. I looked at all of them. This is about ownership. I own that house. I own my boundaries. And I'm done letting you treat me like I'm optional. I walked to the door. Rachel, wait. Mom's voice. I stopped. Didn't turn around. I love you, Mom. But I'm not your doormat. Not anymore. I left. The door clicked shut behind me. And I didn't look back. My phone exploded. Jen, you're tearing this family apart. Tom? Dad would be ashamed of you. Mom, please, let's talk about this. I turned my phone off. I went home, made tea, sat on my couch, in the silence. And I cried. Not because I regretted it, because it hurt. Because even when you're right, it still costs something, but I didn't break. The next day, Monica called. They want to negotiate. What are they offering? Jen's willing to pay rent. Tom wants shared access. Your mom. She just wants peace. I thought about it. Tell them I'll draw up a lease. Month to month. Market rate. And if they damage anything, they're out. Monica was quiet. You're really doing this. I am. Good for you, Rachel. I smiled. Thanks. That weekend, Claire texted me. I'm sorry for not saying anything. You deserved better. I stared at the message. Thank you. I wrote back. That means a lot. She sent a heart. It was small, but it was something. 2 weeks later, Mom moved into the house. Under my lease. She called me every few days. Asked how I was. Really asked. Jen didn't speak to me for a month. Tom sent a stiff apology via email. I didn't need their approval anymore. I had something better. I had my dignity. And a house with my name on it. 6 months later, I drove by the house. Mom had planted flowers in the front yard. The porch looked good. Lived in. I didn't stop. I didn't need to. That house wasn't my identity. It was just proof. Proof that I mattered. That I could stand up. That I didn't need to be loud to be strong. I still see my family. Holidays. Birthdays. But the dynamic is different now. They ask before they assume. They invite before they plan. They see me. Not perfectly. Not always. But more. And when they don't, I don't bend anymore. I've learned that love without respect is just noise. And I'd rather have silence than that. I'm still the quiet one. But I'm not the doormat. I'm the one who owns the house. And the deed to my own life. They thought they could lock me out. They forgot whose name was on the deed. And now? Now they remember. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever been the one holding everything together while everyone else took credit, I see you. You're not invisible. Drop a comment and tell me if you ever had to stand up to family. How did it go? And if you haven't hit subscribe yet, do it now. These stories are for people who've been underestimated their whole lives. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Thank you for being here, for listening, for understanding that sometimes the quiet ones are the strongest ones. You're part of a community now, a place where your story matters, where being overlooked doesn't mean you're invisible. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you don't need anyone's permission to take up space. You already belong. Take care of yourself.